We can't believe we're halfway through 2023 already. And, so far, it has been a strong year for classic car auctions, as we can see from the sales of the 25 cars that have achieved the highest prices in the first 6 months of the year. Ferrari dominates the markets, occupying 18 of the top 25 places for cars sold at auction in the first half of 2023, but there are strong performances for the best pre-war and Edwardian cars, too. Enjoy having a flick through 2023's biggest sellers so far, and let's see what the rest of the year brings. All prices are from Glenmarch for cars sold at auction, and are quoted in sterling and in the currency of where the sale was held, data correct as of July 5, 2023. This 1990 Ferrari F40 was the 53rd out of 213 originally supplied to the US and had covered a mere 1,236 miles when it went to auction at Amelia Island in March with Gooding & Company. It sold bang on its lower estimate of $3 million, which is fair value for an F40 in exceptional condition. It came with all of its factory-fitted tools and books, a Mazzini report and a Ferrari Classisch Red book to add to its provenance. The car had also just received a major service from Ferrari Los Angeles, so it was ready to be used by its new owner. And here is another Ferrari F40. Mecum's F40, that sold at its Kissimmee sale in January, may have had more miles than some offered in the first half of 2023, but it had just had a money-no-object engine and gearbox restoration at a recognized specialist, which made the 10,994-mile car very usable. This F40 is number 179 of the 213 sold in the US when new and is a full matching numbers example. It also came with a Mazzini report, factory books and tool roll, as well as Ferrari Classisch certification to justify its price. This unique Corvette fetched an impressive price at the RM Sotheby's Arizona sale in January. It is one of only two 1969 ZL1 models ever built and the only convertible, which was sold new to John W. Marr by the West Penn Garage in Pennsylvania. The ZL1 pack more than doubled the price of a standard Corvette convertible and came with an all-aluminum Can-Am derived 427 cubic inch, 7-liter, V8. Marr used the car for hill climbs and drag racing, and he kept it until 2007. It was consigned to the auction by its second owner, who had the car carefully restored in 2014 by Kevin McKay of Corvette Repair Incorporated. This largely original Ferrari 275 GTB4 from 1967 was sold by RM Sotheby's early in the year at its Arizona, Phoenix, sale in the US. It proves the enduring appeal of this model as one of 3 in the top 25 sales in the first half of 2023. After its first 2 owners, this 275 was acquired by Wade Carter, and he and his family kept the car for almost 45 years. Its fourth keeper bought the car in 2016 and had it sympathetically maintained in excellent order. With a recently rebuilt engine and matching numbers chassis, engine and gearbox, it also came with a Marcel Mazzini report. A 4-year restoration of this Ferrari 275 GTB4 took place between 2012 and 2016, and it still presented immaculately when it was sold at the RM Sotheby's Paris auction at the beginning of February. It is a matching numbers example accompanied by its original tools and books, spare wheel and Ferrari Classisch certificate. Painted in Grigio Argento silver with a Palnera black interior, it left the factory in April 1967 and was first registered in Rome later that month. Sold for a fraction over its lower estimate, this Ferrari 275 GTB4 from the Gooding & Company Amelia Island sale in March is the most expensive of the 3 in the top 25 sales of the first half of 2023. The reason for this is the car had covered fewer than 10,800 miles when it crossed the block and is regarded as one of the most original 275 GTB4s in existence. Painted in blue scuro and with a beige interior, it's an attractive combination. What's more, it is a Preservation Award winner at Pebble Beach and has had recent careful maintenance to keep it ready for use. Of course, it is another Ferrari. This Series 2 Ferrari 250mm Spider is one of 12 built and comes with a long history of race use, which includes the Mille Miglia and Targa Florio. Such a record helped it to a strong sale price at Gooding & Company's Amelia Island auction in March. This car has been carefully tended throughout its life. It was also sold with a spare engine that is believed to be the original one fitted from the factory. The only Lamborghini to feature in our rundown of the biggest 25 sales in the first 6 months of 2023 is this Miura SV from 1971. It is a matching numbers example, one of 150 SVs built, and was in the catalog at the RM Sotheby's Arizona sale in January. This car, chassis 4296, was completed in November 1971 and painted yellow from the factory, but it is now finished in blue over gray. It also came with air conditioning and split-sump lubrication from new. A 4-year restoration included an engine rebuild by Bob Wallace, a former Lamborghini test driver. This 2006 Maserati MC12 sale price was close to that of a Ferrari Enzo, which the MC12 is based on. Number 3 of 12 of this type made, the Corse was launched in 2006 as a track day version of the GT1 race car, and it came with a 745 brake horsepower 6-liter V12 engine. Chassis number 003, sold by Bonhams at its Scottsdale auction in January, had amassed only 123 miles since being built. However, recent work ensured the car was ready to be used, if the winning bidder wished. The muscular Ferrari 288 GTO sold by RM Sotheby's was entered in its Amelia Island sale in March and came from 22 years of single-family ownership. It had covered fewer than 5,000 miles from new when it crossed the block and came with a Ferrari Classisch Red Book, warranty card, toolkit and service manuals. This 288 GTO was supplied new to its first owner in Florida and was fitted with the optional Daytona style of seats with red cloth inserts. It also has air conditioning, but no radio. Driven in period by Gene Alesi and Johnny Morbidelli, this Ferrari 643 Formula One car was used in the Australian, British and French Grands Prix during the 1991 season. Sold in Paris in February by RM Sotheby's, this racing car was in full working order, and had benefited from recent work to the suspension, brakes, engine and transmission. With a 710 brake horsepower 3.5-liter V12 and 7-speed semi-automatic gearbox, this Ferrari 643 was ready to be used in racing series such as Formula Legends 3.5L and Ignition GP. The third of 17 Ferrari 500 TRs built, this car scored 3 podium finishes and 2 class wins from 23 starts between 1956 and 1961. It was also chosen by Ferrari as part of the factory's 60th anniversary Concours d'Elegance in Maranello. Entered from the Aurora collection at the RM Sotheby's sale at Villa Erba, on the shores of Lake Como, Italy, in May, the 500 TR had been little used by the seller since it was acquired in 2011. It had previously been campaigned regularly in Shell historic Ferrari Challenge races. Even in the rarefied world of the Ferrari LaFerrari, this example sold by RM Sotheby's in January at its Arizona sale stands out. It's the only LaFerrari sold new in blue electrico with a cream leather interior, and it was supplied new to marque collector Greg Witten through Ferrari of Seattle, Washington. With just 3,186 miles on the clock at the time of the auction, this LaFerrari has been fastidiously maintained and was described as on the button for its new owner. While more modern supercars proliferate in the 25 biggest selling cars sold at auction in the first half of 2023, this 1931 Duesenberg Model J demonstrates that pre-war cars are still in demand. This example is a convertible coupe with disappearing top coachwork by Murphy, and it has also appeared in a number of Hollywood films, including Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, to add to its appeal when it was consigned to the RM Sotheby's Amelia Island auction in March. A matching numbers car, this Model J was sold in very well-preserved condition after a $500,000 restoration by former owners Chris and Kathleen Koch in the early 2000s. With many concours wins to its credit, this Duesenberg shows the marque still forms a key pillar of many classic car collections. Supplied new to its first owner in France, this Nero Black Ferrari Enzo is thought to have spent most of its life on the Côte d'Azur. It stayed in the same area when bought by its second keeper and has been meticulously cared for by Ferrari service centers in that region, as well as some maintenance work in Berlin. With its black exterior complemented by a matching black interior, this Enzo came to the RM Sotheby's Paris sale in February in an unusual and appealing color combination that helps it stand out from other examples. Simplex is regarded as one of the greatest Edwardian-era makes, and this 50-horsepower model, with its 5-passenger torpedo tourer body by J.M. Quimby and Company, is reckoned to be one of the best of the bunch. Owned by Eleonora Sears from new for 25 years, it's a matching numbers car, and was subsequently owned and restored by Charles Chain, chief engineer for General Motors. Sold by Bonhams in January at its Scottsdale auction, the Simplex has been in regular use throughout its 111-year life. Once overlooked in favor of its F40 predecessor, the Ferrari F50 has now come into its own, as witnessed by this example that went under the hammer with RM Sotheby's. It appeared in the firm's Amelia Island sale in March, and it sold strongly thanks to single ownership from 1995 through to 2022. In that time, it had covered only 834 miles. This car came with its original fitted luggage and the factory flight case for the removable hardtop. It also has a Ferrari Classisch Red Book and was comprehensively refreshed by specialist DK Engineering in 2022, so it's ready to be used. The fifth made out of 10 Pagani's owned RS, this one sold by RM Sotheby's at Amelia Island in March was upgraded by the factory to Revolution specification in December 2014. The work included increasing engine power by 30 brake horsepower, and fitting Öhlins suspension and magnesium alloy wheels. Before it went to auction, this car was given a full service by Pagani of Beverly Hills, plus it got upgraded driveshafts. As part of the sale, the winning bidder also received an invitation to drive the car in Pagani's 2023 Arte in Pista program. The second Ferrari Enzo to make our countdown of the 25 biggest car sales of the first half of 2023 sets an impressive benchmark for the model. Not only is it the very first Enzo made, with the Ferrari Classisch certificate to prove it, it was owned by Fernando Alonso from new until it was sold by Monaco Car Auctions in June. The 2002 car is one of 399 Enzos built and had covered just 3,000 miles in the hands of its Formula One world champion driver owner. When it was built in 1951, the 340 America Barchetta Touring Superleggera was the most powerful car Ferrari made. This car, consigned to Art Curial's auction at Retromobile in Paris in February, was campaigned at the 1951 Sierra Leonean Leonsmans, as well as that year's tourist trophy with Mike Hawthorne driving. It went on to be used at the 1953 12 Hours of Sebring and 1954 Daytona Speed Week. Such an illustrious career helped this car sell very well, and it was the first time the car had been on the market since the previous owner acquired it in 1975. It still has its original body and was ready to be used. It was fitting this Ferrari 121 LM Spider was sold at the RM Sotheby's Le Mans sale in June, because the car had competed in the infamous 24-hour race in 1955. It also took part in that year's Mille Miglia, giving this car an impeccable history to appeal to buyers. It's one of only 4 surviving 121 LMs made and had a total restoration to its original 1955 Sierra Leonean Leons Man specification by Ferrari Classisch between 2018 and 2023. Plus, this car still has its matching numbers chassis, engine and gearbox. The Ferrari 250 GT SWB is one of the most prized classic cars, and this one has an unusual history to add to its appeal. This 1961 car, sold at the RM Sotheby's Villa Erba auction in May, made a brief appearance in the Disney film The Love Bug. After several California-based owners, it was acquired by David Piper before passing through the hands of others until it was owned by Claude Trippier for 20 years. During his time with the 250, the car was restored and reunited with its original engine. It now has a Ferrari Classisch certificate. One of the cars to achieve the highest price at auction in the first half of 2023 is also the newest, the 2022 Bugatti Chiron Profili. This is the only example of this model. Bugatti had planned to make more, but abandoned the idea when all 500 Chiron build slots sold out quicker than expected. The Profile was intended to focus more on handling and agility than outright top speed, so was designed with more downforce, and revised steering and suspension. However, only this one car was built, which was sold by RM Sotheby's at its Paris auction in February. The highest price paid at auction for a racing car in the first half of 2023 goes to this Ferrari 312 PB, sold by RM Sotheby's in May at its Villa Erba sale in Italy. This 1972 car won that year's Buenos Aires 1,000 km race and the Nürburgring 1,000 km the same year. Despite its notable racing career, this car retains its matching numbers engine and gearbox, and was sold with an extensive spares package so it can continue to be raced. With a continuous file of fastidious owners, this 312 PB is an important part of Ferrari's sports car racing history. There can be few more desirable classic cars than the Ferrari 250 GT SWB California Spider, which is why this 1962 example tops this list. This immaculate drop-top sold for just above its lower estimate at Gooding & Company's Amelia Island sale in March and attracted plenty of interest thanks to its unusual azzurro metallizzato metallic green paintwork. One of only 37 covered headlight, short-wheelbase California Spiders, this example was also the 1962 New York International Auto Show car. It retains its original chassis, body and drivetrain, and is certified by Ferrari Classisch to make it as covetable as this model can be. We look forward to finding out what the rest of 2023 holds.